I can't remember having too much grammar training. There could have been a bit, but it certainly doesn't feel like it was a large focus.
We weren't taught any grammar in our teacher training, which didn't help actually when I came into the classroom.
During teacher training there was no grammar training, there was no subject knowledge training.
As teachers, we really need to do our homework before we feel we're qualified to teach it properly.
The new requirements of grammar put much more of a load on teachers than they have done previously. We have found that teachers themselves don't have that much subject knowledge. They didn't have that explicit teaching of grammar when they were at school, and so that's been an area that we have needed to address. Working in partnership with the Englicious project has been a real benefit for us to reflect on what we need as teachers to be able to meet the children's needs in our teaching.
Brilliant.
It's very clear. It helps us as teachers, it teaches us as teachers, and it's also a very useful tool for us to use with the children.
An adjective to go with a noun, and because she found the attributive way easier, she did it the attributive way first and then put it at the back with the predicative. So, for example, Dina, what did you do first of all?
I did miserable weekend.
My weekend was miserable. Brilliant. My favourite part of the site, I think, is the lesson plans. They're very easy to use, and actually it's easy to search for them based on what your need is. So again, adjectives today, if you're feeling like the children aren't using adjectives enough, then you can search for that, and there's a choice of plans for that, and it's very straightforward and simple.
I've used Englicious quite a lot over the course of the year. I've used it to play various different games or under the guise of games, explore the uses of language. The shiny cake that I saw. And I've also used it for clarification of my own understanding, because one of the reasons I like it is that some of the more technical descriptions, especially in the national curriculum, which aren't that clear and can be quite confusing, seem to be put onto the Englicious website in a way that's clear and concise, so it makes it much easier for me to then teach it. Each mouldy tourist, does that work? Because you just told me to change.
No.
Why not?
Because you'd say each mouldy tourist.
Thank you.
It is very much like a toolkit actually. You know, you open it up and you've got your references in one side and then your lessons in another and your activities, and you are able to find everything you need. You know, you've got your different areas of teaching, you've got your subject knowledge and your delivery and your pedagogy, and it takes all of that into account, so everything's available there if you want it, if you need it.
Children always like when lessons are interactive, so the bits that I really like are the fact that they can come up to the computer or the monitors and actually engage with the teaching itself. They can have a part in controlling what happens in the lesson by making their own choices, and then we can bring it back to the rest of the class and they can have their own opinions on what's going on.
The interactive element has been really useful in engaging the children in learning. We use our whiteboards a great deal in lots of our teaching, and it's something that children have come to expect really, so it's been a key way of engaging them in their learning about grammar. The
children can touch the words on the screen, and the fact that they can see them moving around and with colours, and I mean the Englicious site's got a lovely feature where you get them close to each other and they stick almost like magnets. And that really helps, and there's a real satisfaction there.
I've enjoyed using the kind of scrambling of sentence structures and sorting activities, which can all be done using technology, which children always enjoy. And then we always try to take those things back into our writing, back on their whiteboards, back into story writing.
I think one of the teachers' concerns was that when we had to teach more grammar, that it was going to be a bit of a dry subject and difficult to engage the children, but that's not been the case at all. And using Englicious has been a really key way to engage the children. They found it fun. They like rating their answers to see what their percentage is, to see how many correct answers they've given. So it's been a really engaging way to teach grammar. And it's raised attainment in our grammar teaching.
The shoe with beady eyes. Special.
The shoe with beady eyes, special. Grammar has become more exciting because for me it's about allowing children to realise an end, and that is effective, creative and rich writing.
The most rewarding thing I've seen is that children are being able to apply what they've learnt in their grammar teaching and generalise that into their writing.
The tiger was stunning, lovely, fantastic.
And what's a word that
We're reviewing our writing this year, and staff were asked to bring pieces of writing they were particularly impressed with, and we were all overwhelmed by the quality of the children's writing, not just from the most able writers but all the way through our cohorts of children.
I would definitely recommend the site because of its clarity of use, because of its clarity of explanations. Sometimes it needs to be drawn down into that quick, how can I understand what I need to understand now so that I can deliver effective teaching.
Teaching grammar can really empower them, and you can see it on their faces when they have suddenly come up with a word, or they've started several sentences in different ways, and I read it back to them and they go, wow, did I write that? And you can just see, and that's fantastic. That's fantastic with the sort of children that just don't think they can do that, and they can.